Hello there, one and all, and welcome into the Drop Spot, where we talk all things Fortnite competitive. We slice through to the heart of what is Fortnite comp with a flaming hot Infinity Blade, bringing you all the latest from the scene. Loads to cover. It's been a few weeks now. We've got a little break. We're back now, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by the almighty Mini Miner and Jacob PR. The lads are joining me. This is exciting times because not only, fellas, is it wonderful to see you here on the show. But Jacob, this is your first time. I can't believe this. This is your first time on the Drop Spot. You're so Hollywood these days. We can't get hold of you. Finally, you're here. I mean, Scott, we both of us, I think, feel very honored that he is here with us right now today.
What do you mean, man? I've been trying to get tickets for this talk show for so long. Y'all been sold out season after season. But all jokes aside, very glad to be here. I just love so much the Fortnite and the Fortnite community, being able to spread as much knowledge about the scene as possible.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, Jacob. I just see you as my next opponent when it comes to the quiz section later on, because I'm currently 100% success rate against Vivid, and I'm sure he is still quite upset about that, Adam.
He's definitely crying somewhere.
Yeah, he is.
Classic Vivid. But of course, here you have myself, Adam Savage. Here you got Jacob. You've got Mini Miner. We're bringing you all the latest from the wonderful world of Fortnite competitive. And this week is going to be really exciting. We've got a few things that are a bit new coming your way. Like first things, actually a new game called Unreal Gold Bronze. Unreal Gold Bronze. It's really fun. You guys, I mean, Jacob, you strike me as someone who loves a game.
Oh, I love a good game, all right. I played video games all my life since I was a kid. Now I'm fully grown, ready for more games.
Yeah, games are good. I like games too. We actually play sometimes as well. All three of us, actually. We've all sort of played. I don't think we all played together. Have we all played in the same trio? I don't think so, but maybe we'll get that organized. But it's always good fun. Good times is always good fun.
Yeah, we need to make that happen immediately.
Yes.
Like we've duoed all of us, but trios, the world ain't ready. The world is not ready. We've obviously got our new game, Unreal Gold Bronze. We've got ourselves the FNCS recap and looking ahead as well. We don't really touch on that at all, what's been happening recently of all things FNCS. We've got a quiz, obviously. Mini Miner's already mentioned that one. Going to be a beauty. And you guys, of course, can play along at home as well. And we're going to discuss Fortnite as an esport. I really had that conversation, like to go deep diving into actually what it is in Fortnite to be all things competitive and how it's evolved over time to what it is today as well. But let's kick things off with that game. We've talked about it. It's enough waiting around. We've waited for all of 3 minutes. No one can wait any longer for this, okay? The skills of Fortnite game. Now, here are the rules, okay? This is how it's going to play out. It's a fun discussion-based one, okay? So the explanation is, this is a game called Unreal Gold and Bronze. I'll give you 3 skills that you might want for Fortnite. You have to choose to be Unreal at one of them, Gold at another, and Bronze at the last one, okay? And you've got to tell me why, okay? So with the chat, we may not be on the same page. We have different feelings about this, but that's what makes it so fun. So let's jump in first and foremost, okay? Scott, Mini Miner, I'm starting with you here, okay? These are your 3. Building, editing, aiming. You've got to mark them Unreal, Gold, and Bronze. Building, editing, aiming. Jump right in there. Where you're going Unreal, what is most important to you?
Unreal number 1. I suppose for those that don't know, Unreal is the best rank. So I want to try and give something that's worthy. What do I need that is worthy of being the best at? I'd say out of those 3, I would need aiming the most. I'd say I'd give aiming my Unreal rank because it's just required. It is just required. You could build, you could edit your heart out, but aiming is really where you're going to get those eliminations. If you can't hit your shots, then you're not really going to have too much of a hope at getting eliminations, getting refreshes, which is all Fortnite is about, especially in the high-level end games. So, yeah, I'm thinking aim. If you don't have aim, you don't have game.
I know you kind of prefaced, Adam, that we might be on the same page. We might be on different pages, but I think for this one, I'm Mini Miner. I'm going to go ahead and be on the same page with him. I think aim is just simply too important of a mechanic in the game because even 0 builds exist, and there's no building, there's no editing that goes on in that, and you still, at the end of the day, have to be the last team standing, which means you have to eliminate your opponent, and you can only do that by hitting those shots.
It's totally right. I mean, particularly we see it in comp as well with, and bearing in mind that you may be a listener who is kind of brand new to competitive Fortnite, or you may have been around the block and been here for a long period of time, but to kind of recap, aiming is, I think, has always been like the fundamental necessity for any player. You need to have that in your locker if you're going to go far in this competition. We've seen many a clutch up, many a solo clutch across competitive over the last couple of years. But I think I'm with you too. I think aiming has to be the one. You have to have that. I'm thinking of like storm surge tags, how important they are as well. It's a big factor. So the general consensus is Unreal is aiming. Okay, you guys let us know at home as well. We think that is the case. Okay, Scott, I'm looking for a bronze now, the mid tier in this trio, this trifecta of skills. What's your vibes?
So we're saying gold or bronze?
We're saying gold now. What's your gold?
Gold, okay. I'm going to say, because I've got building and editing left, they're quite similar, I'd say. You can't really, at this stage of the game, you can't really build without editing. You can't edit without builds. To be mid-tier I'd say, for me, building. I'd say building. You can sort of, I think you can get away with having worse edits. I think building, you need to have some sort of skill, when it comes to full boxing people, when you get that piece control, the tarps in endgame, it is important. And I think you can get away with editing those a little bit slower versus not placing the builds quickly enough to gain that piece control. So yeah, gold's builds for me.
I think I'm going to be a little bit on the other side of that coin for once. We are going to disagree, even though we're good teammates on and off the show. I think editing is just a little bit more important. I think when it comes to, especially an FNCS style lobby, the chances of it breaking out into a massive build fight is very, very slim. And if it happens, it's a very few players and it lasts for very, very little. So I think being able to edit is just that much more important. If you can go ahead and build yourself a 2x2, a 3x3 box at the bottom, and if you have the quick edits and you're able to smoothly maneuver in and outside of those covers, I think it's going to be able to do you a lot more than just building itself.
Yeah, do you know what, Minnie? I'm kind of feeling Jacob's not just because Jacob's first time on the show, and I'm making him feel very welcome here. Genuinely, I swear. I think editing. I think maybe editing just for me takes it. I'm just thinking, we've seen resource management when it comes to like mats as well, kind of an end game particularly is so important. If you've already got yourself kind of some builds to a degree, you can edit them to give you the advantage still. Whereas if you're out of match, you can't build anything. And that's what I'm kind of thinking. You need to have something, I think. So, that's just where my mind goes. So I'm kind of going towards Team Jacob. I'm just saying. No, don't look at me like that as well. I can feel you breathing in my ears as well. Don't be disappointed, okay?
I'm disappointed.
We have ourselves. Okay, so you've gone building. So obviously, editing is your bronze.
Editing's my bronze. I think you guys have a good point, right? Okay, being gold as editing, I think is important, but you can't edit stuff if you haven't placed it already. You have to be able to build to a degree in order to edit stuff. So for me, editing is less important than building when it comes to a high-level comp, because you can just tarp your way through endgame. You can just try and cut people off. It might take you a while to make the edit if it's bronze. If you're in the bronze level of editing, it's not ideal, but I think you'll get there. We're not saying you can't edit. We're not saying editing is turned off. So I think that for me is where it gets interesting, because it might result in you missing a few edits at the backside of zone, and then Storm catches up, and then that's it. I think that's the only real issue that I can see with editing. But yeah, I think you could build your way out of most situations. So yeah, have editing as bronze. Why not?
Okay, he makes a good case, Jacob. He makes a great case. But we just don't happen to be on the same page of that case. But we are appreciating every single second of it.
No, we definitely are. Just on the other side of that coin, it's just building doesn't need to be the best that it compared to both editing and aiming. You can get away with very, very simple low ground builds, and talk about tarping. Yes, that is important to tarp, but guess what? In order to continue tarping forward, you need what? You need to be able to edit through that tarp. And I've been on the receiving end of missing my edit 4, 5, 6 times. Somebody ends up in the box, or the storm just kind of does me in. So that's why I just kind of have building as tier 3 bronze.
Okay, hey, we this is the first time we've done this. So I'm enjoying the conversation. It's evolving. I'm liking this. Obviously, and talking of getting away with things, you're not Jacob, because you've got to do this now as well. Okay, you've now got to give your opinion here. I want your 3 skills here. This one, I think, in some ways, is slightly trickier.
Okay,
and you'll see why here, Jacob. These are your 3 skills of Fortnite. Okay, Unreal, Gold, and Bronze. These are your 3: strategy, confidence, motivation. Oosh, massive.
Why you give him the easy ones? Why you give Mini Miner the easy ones?
You're the new guy. You have to.
You're the newbie, dude. You're the newbie.
A little bit of monkey in the middle right here, because I'm between you two lads. But I think if I had to pick one, I'm just gonna base off my own experience. I would think I'd want to be Unreal at motivation just by how my own thought process kind of thinks. If I'm motivated, I'm gonna think about those strategies. I'm gonna think about everything that needs to be done. So in my head, I have to go Unreal motivation just because it leads me to bigger and better things.
I disagree. I disagree, unfortunately.
Of course he does.
Well,
course
we
he does.
have to make it interesting, don't we?
It's
You know,
not
but Unreal motivation is good. I think the difficulty with this one is that strategy, confidence, and motivation, they all sort of tie into each other in a way. So for me, I'd say I want to be Unreal at strategy. I want my strategy to be top tier, because if I'm just winning games constantly, if I'm just the best in the world because I have the best strategy, then surely my confidence is going to be high. Surely that motivation is going to be high off the back of that as well. Maybe it isn't, you know, maybe it's not. But if my strategy is top tier, then surely those other two will follow suit. And you could have all the motivation in the world and have zero strategy, and then you end up, you know, falling at 50th place every single duo game. And that's not ideal. You know, that's where the confidence goes down. So I think you have to think about it as what will be the most important out of the three that will affect each other. And for me, that will be strategy. But I can see exactly what Jacob's saying. Motivation is so important. If you're not motivated, then everything else will fall down in your game.
Yeah, but I'm just going to put it out there. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. I'm just team confidence for a second here.
Okay.
Just hear me out.
Okay.
Now, I think confidence as well sometimes is a massive factor. Because we've seen it time and time again that confidence dictates whether or not you make the play, you make that move, or you kind of hold back sometimes and you don't do it. We all talked about it a ton over the last however many months it's been now. But Cami and Seti versus Queasy and Venno. I mean, you were Jacob. You casted the action. We were all there, invitational. The confidence that Queasy and Venno had there to push Cami and Seti, although it didn't work out in their favor, gave us one of the greatest Fortnite moments there ever was.
Yeah.
Because I think you have to have that confidence in your own game to make those. I've given myself goosebumps thinking about it, by the way. That's mad.
Yeah.
That's actually mad. I can't believe that. Just remembering being in the situation. But those kind of moments that where the confidence does play such an important part, because it kind of, it's either stop or go. And I think that's, for me, I think that's a real kind of good trait. I mean, they're all traits you have to have, as you say.
Yeah.
But I just thought we just champion all of them for a second there.
Yeah.
But there you go. So confidence. So you're going with, Jacob, what is your final answer? Unreal is
Motivation.
Motivation. Okay. What is gold tier for you?
To me, this is where it's really, really tricky, because I feel like we're all correct in our own ways, depending on how you build your foundation as a player. But I gotta go with strategy, kind of like what Mini Miner said, because once you build that strategy, you already have the motivation. That is Unreal. Once you start to build that strategy and realize, hey, my plans are work, I got the blueprint, I just need to be able to execute, I think that confidence will slowly but surely start to build up on its own. I think once you do these in order, you can kind of build up and see like a new player start to emerge. But I think all of us in our own ways, depending on what you guys pick, might be correct.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, obviously, I can't go strategy as goal, because I've already picked that as Unreal if I was to go with my sort of three. Confidence, I'd say, for me, would be gold tier. I think you have to have the confidence to go for your strategy and really sort of undertake the practice that you put in and undertake the strategy that you've decided to go for. I think you could be the least motivated person in the world and still just go with it because you're confident. And that's okay. I feel like having bronze motivation is all right. You know, it's not too bad, because hopefully you'll be able to sort of play through that lack of motivation, because, I mean, you have to have bad something or bronze something in this game. So it's quite unfortunate. I wish I could have Unreal at everything, which I certainly don't. But it's one of those where it's like, yeah, I think if you have the confidence to go for that strategy and, you know, make the plays, then you have to be doing good. I think that's going to be my final answer, is confidence for gold.
Okay. And so finally, bronze, Jacob, will be
Confidence.
Okay.
It can be built up over time.
I think any which way you played that, I think we all would have been correct in some way, shape, or form. I think that was a good one. But it definitely gets the conversation going for you guys listening as well to this. I mean, love your thoughts and hear what you have to say as well. You may have a different opinion to us, or the same opinion. We'd love to know. Before we move on to the next thing, very quickly, I'm going to throw 3 names from EU and then 3 names from NA out there. I want you to pick who would be your Unreal partner. Just pick who you would choose as your Unreal partner. Okay, these are your 3 here. These are the 3 you get to choose from. I'm going to go for Cami, Thomas HD, Venno. Who would be your EU Unreal partner of those 3? All done big things, all continue to do big things. But who would be the one you'd want by your side? Jacob, going to you first, buddy.
I think I would have to pick Venno. I think, he's just a mechanically skilled, sound player, and I feel like I could help with the IGLs. I'm not saying I'm good as Queasy by any means, but I think I can help with a lot of rotations, a lot of the IGL, the analytical part of the game plan, and I could just send him, yo, Vino, go get him. Vino, go get him, and let's just go ahead and clean up the rest of the eliminations from there.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that, honestly. Like, Venno is just, one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. When I usually IGL when I play my for the sort of Fortnite tournament games. So I think I'd like someone like Venno along my side, someone that has a brain as well. He's developed into that. Originally, when Venno first started playing, he didn't really have that sort of nous, that sort of ability to know the game as well as he does now. And now he's just such a complete player that he's any player's ideal teammate when it comes to a fragger role. But I mean, Thomas HD, Cammy, two of the best players in the region as well. I feel like it's more just because I would not be a good fragger to Cammy's IGL ability that I wouldn't be able to pick Cammy. It's not that he's bad, it's that I'm bad. So that would probably be what it is.
Yeah, I think I'd lean on Thomas HD. I don't know. I think all three unbelievable. Yeah. But I think just Thomas HD. I think just can get you out of a pickle. I mean, they all can, but Thomas really can get you out of a bind. I think if anyone's can clutch up, Thomas definitely could. I mean, they all could. But let's look at NA players as well here quickly. Let's throw out there. Let's throw out Acorn. Let's check out Booga, and let's throw out as well. I don't know who could be Canada. Those three. Who would be your pick? Canada, Acorn, Booga. Jump on in, Jacob.
I'm ready. As soon as you said that third name, you sign him right up. You put him on my team. Give me Canada. He's entertaining. I know we're going to have a blast playing. He's a fragger like we talked about on the EU side of things with Venno. I can help him with a lot of the strategies while he kind of takes the reins of everything else. And just like I said, the first thing, he's just a fun. He's a great personality. And I just kind of think that we'd make a good match.
That was my exact thought as soon as Adam said Canada. But then I had a second thought of like, I think I'd just be laughing too much. I think I'd just be too focused on talking to him and having a good bit of banter that I'm like, oh, we're playing. Oh, no, I'm Nox. It's kind of that sort of situation. So I think for me, I'm going to say Acorn. I'm going to say Acorn. One of those sort of players that has the potential to pop off as a solo. We saw it in week one. He won from, I think it was like 20th place. Cole went down and he just solo clutched his way to success. So he'd definitely be needing that if he was to play with me. So yeah, Acorn.
I think I'm leaning Acorn as well. And that means, obviously, Booga's done what he's done in Fortnite, which is everything. And Canada would be great banter. I'm totally with you there. Would be a lot of fun. But Acorn as well, I think, again, we've seen it time and time again. Those clutches just manages to find a way to get through, get those points for your team. Big time. And obviously, you let us know exactly what you guys think of this home as well. We'd love to know exactly who you think you would take through. I think it would be really fun to talk about as well online. We talked about some of the players. Let's have a look at the duos in FNCS in general right now, because so much is happening, has happened, and is gonna happen as well. Obviously, we are just a couple of months away now from October, the global finals, which are going to be absolutely incredible. The global championship in Copenhagen, October. 20 duos have already been qualified. 30 more places up for grabs in Major 3. But lads, let's just cast our mind back here. We've already talked about it on the drop spot recently, obviously with our short hiatus. But what's been happening across this major and the weeks thus far? Let's start with week one. Let's roll our minds back for a second here to catch people up to speed here. Jacob, what has been the big highlights for you, the big talking points in week one specifically first?
In week one, let's just go ahead and start on EU because it does come first. You got to talk about Queasy and Venno. They changed up their uncontested drop spot over towards Kajitsu Crossing to contest the secluded Spire split where there is a vault against Sky Dune and Shakos. And a lot of us looking into that fight and that off-spawn battle thinking Queasy and Venno, they got it. No one could take them on, but they lost majority of those fights, were forced to disengage out of others. And to me, I don't think anybody would have expected that, especially after them coming off of winning 6 out of 12 games in FNCS Major 2.
And I think you know what that shows? It just shows how important it is to know your drop spot. Skydin and Shakers have landed here all season. They've landed here for a very, very long time. Queasy Venno decide to come in last minute, and they get absolutely rolled. And that's exactly what happens. If you don't know the drop spot, you don't know how to play it, that begs the question of, is it really the drop spot for you? And that's where Queasy Venno made that last-minute decision to switch. Didn't work out. And, of course, week number 2 didn't work out quite as well for them either, not even making the finals. Week 3, where do they go? What do they do? I don't know. If I was in their position, I think they need to make finals and then make a top 20-ish to qualify to grand finals through series points. I don't know. It's a tough road for them, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing them in grand finals. It's one of those sort of names that you just expect to see there and or to be there, and they're just not at the moment.
I think it goes to show as well the kind of like the caliber of each of the regions now. We were talking here about Queasy and Velo, thinking, could it be, a bump in the road? I mean, how are we saying this about Queasy and Velo? Yeah. It's bonkers, really. But I think that's what the nature of this now. We're kind of seeing it time and time again that the players are coming through, dominating, doing unbelievable things. And let's look at a team like Iomzo and Rise as well. Like, we must celebrate from NA as well. I mean, what a top duo this is, who are really going to go places here, Jacob. I can feel it. I can feel it bubbling underneath my skin.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for stories of the battle bus on Iomzo himself. That is a complete story of an individual taking an opportunity and running with it. And he ran so far past the finish line. He's a winner right now, even though he doesn't have his global championship spot. It's just unfortunate that in Major 1, there was very few spots. He barely missed out on the qualification. In Major 2, there was 3 spots. He placed 4th. Luckily for him, there is 10 spots up for grabs in Major 3. So I think for Iomzo and Rise, this is their time to punch their ticket to that global championship and then continue their practice for that global championship. Because to me, it's not just the drop spot. It's everything that they're doing to prepare for these games, from loot caches, surge plan, and just how to get to the zone if the zone does pull far. They're always in those end games. And then now they're emerging as one of the hype teams. This is just crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's no accident winning 2 weekly finals in a row. Week 1 and week 2, they claimed. And we interview the winners of each week after the games, after each show. And it just seems like we're best mates with Iomzo right now, because we just talk to him every single week. And maybe week 3 will be the same. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to wait and see. But this is a duo that I'm excited about. This is a duo that I've been excited about since sort of maybe Major or Major 2 or this chapter. They've really been performing well, and they've adapted their gameplay a lot as well. We used to see them on that sort of low ground, mid ground layers, sort of playing the low ground, going for those refreshes. But now, working with BloodX, who's one of the top coaches in the world, they're now playing high. So it just shows they have such a complete game. They have such a great toolbox of tools that they can use in their game, that they can play any position, put them in any situation, and they will excel. And that is a duo that I'm particularly excited about when it comes to globals, because even on the show last week, I said there's no doubt that they're not qualifying for global championships, and I stand by that. They're incredible.
Stands by his word there, Jacob. Stands by it. I mean, Iomzo, you talked about Kanada earlier on being a real character. I find Iomzo exactly the same. Like, there was an event recently, and Iomzo is just sat in the corner with his shades on in the sunshine. He just looks at you and goes, "Yo." He's like, hey,
I think that's a good comparison.
He's just a funny guy.
It's just a good comparison in general, because I feel like they're the same coin, just 2 different ends of it. You got the outspoken personality of Kanata that loves to listen to music on his stream and sing along with it and do some dances to entertain people. Then you have Iomzo, who's just about his business. He clocks in for work, he clocks out with his paycheck, and then he goes on to the next day of work. And that's something that, you could admire in its own regard, because he just lets his work or his gameplay do a lot of the speaking for him.
He's so cool.
I mean,
he's just cool,
dude. Such a cool guy. I mean, we even think about, we talked about how you need confidence. Obviously, 2 players there that ooze it massively. 2 players as well that we have to kind of touch on, who have been just absolutely incredible. I think for the best part of the last 4 or 5 months, Malabuka and Thomas HD. I mean, this is a duo as well who just continue to. It's got to a point now where I'm not even surprised when they excel and get to like top spots. You go, of course they did. It's Malabuka and Thomas HD. But the fact that neither of them have won FNCS is kind of mind blowing to me, Mini Miner. How is this even possible?
Yeah, they haven't won FNCS. They're probably 2 of the best players in the region, if not in the world, who have never done it and never won an FNCS, but they certainly have the potential to. They certainly have the skill to. Week number 1 FNCS wasn't their best week. We saw them go for that Rift Island a little bit more often than not, and it didn't quite pay off for them. Week 2 was completely different. They just absolutely dominated in every aspect of the game, and they just showed us what they can do. When they make it to those end games, they're playing off each other so well. And even when Malabuka used to play with Mustache, those guys were so fun to watch in endgame, because they just tore through the lobby, played hip to hip, looking back for refreshes, getting them together, going for pre-edits. They're a beautiful team to watch, and I'm excited for them come global championships, because of course they've already booked their spot. I think it's 2nd and 3rd they've had in Major 1 and Major 2. They're on a roll already, and it's not even October yet.
Yeah, I said it myself during the last week's FNCS. Like it's actually getting scary about Malabuka and Thomas, because you look at Major 1, they got that top placement uncontested. Major 2, top placement contested. This season, whether they're contested or not, they're still at the top of the leaderboard. So they're looking like a team that is rounding out every facet of their game plan. You even mentioned yourself from going from Rift Island in the early majors to not having to worry about it now. And then now you add in that mammoth pistol in the hands of someone like Thomas HD, where he's already been feared by every single sniper variation that has been out in the game. And now you give him a mammoth pistol for close and long range. I think with how good Iamzo and Rise is on NA, I think Malabuka and Thomas might be the scariest team in Fortnite right now.
I mean, it's mad. Literally a season ago, we're going, Thomas HD with a pulse rifle. Poor, you can't get near him. Now a mammoth pistol, it just keeps on going. But whatever happens, listeners, wonderful listeners, you could be there. You could have a front row seat at Global Championships later this year, rubbing shoulders with these boys, which will be absolutely incredible in Copenhagen. All you've got to do, if you want tickets, they are available right now. Tickets are on sale. Should absolutely celebrate that till Kingdom Come, because Fortnite.com/competitive. That's Fortnite.com/competitive is the place to go if you want to grab yourself some tickets to be there live, watching it all happen and see who will be crowned the champions. That $4 million prize pool is something else. You do not want to miss it from us. Trust us. Being there in the building, in the arena, the players, the fans, the noise, the confetti cannons, you name it. It is the place to be. It's all there, right? They can see October coming up real fast. And of course, after Major 3 Grand Finals, there's even more. There's FNCS Community Cup and Last Chance Major. There's loads of other things that you can be doing, getting involved with. I mean, guys, FNCS Community Cup, Monday, August 14th. This is about, you can take up your rank. You can do so much to get involved now. There's so many different ways in which viewers, players as well, can get involved in competitive to a degree and compete to be one of the best. If anything, Jacob.
Yeah, that's exactly what I love about Fortnite in general. It's just the open environment. If you want to play, you might have to get a certain level in ranked, but as soon as you achieve that, you could just go ahead and play and compete against the best. I myself, a few years ago, got a chance to compete at TwitchCon against the very best of the best. I qualified with some professional players that might have put me in my backpack, but at the end of the day, when finals came around, I placed very, very similar to Tfue. And you guys know back then, Tfue was on a tear when it came to Fortnite tournaments, and little old me placing similar to Tfue, that's a dream come true, and that's exactly why I love Fortnite and its open ecosystem.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, the community cups are always great. You get an outfit to win. Of course, we recently had the Galaxy Cup, where players on Android devices and, of course, all devices in a separate cup could compete for that outfit. I actually played in that too, and I didn't win it, but we don't talk about that for too much longer because I'm quite sad about it.
Hey, it's a humble brag though. I was in it. I didn't do very well, but I was there. I was part of it, which is important to us as well. And you say that, Jake, about you and Tfue, but let's be honest. You're the star of the show, baby.
Yeah.
It was you. It was all about you.
He
was your wingman.
Just keep building me up. Just keep building me. I feel myself getting taller every time you give me some sort of compliment.
This is the first time here on the drop spot. The second time, it will be anywhere near as positive or pleasant. I mean, Minimo, you know this.
Yeah, vouch for that.
Vouch. Thanks, mate. Of course, as well, if you want to know exactly where you can watch it, obviously tickets are available. You can do that. You can also watch Grand Finals as well, which is coming up in Major 3, Saturday and Sunday in Legends Landing as well. Of course, we keep celebrating Legends Landing. A great opportunity for you and your pals to check it out. Go to Legends Landing and watch the Grand Finals live there. It's all going to come your way. Of course, as well, the FNCS Community Cup, as mentioned, on Monday, August 14th. It's really fun. Find a duo. Try and win some exclusive cosmetic prizes. You can do that. It's a really fun place to go and check out those competitions as well. So make sure to do that. Lots of exciting things coming your way. Right now, we've obviously mentioned in this, at the beginning of the show as well, we talked about we get different things we do. New games, we're FNCS. Of course, there is the quintessential quiz. I mean, we just know everyone at home right now is going absolutely doolally. They love to see it. This is one of the favorite things. I mean, you obviously heard about this quiz, Jacob. You watched this show before. You've listened to this show. Were you kind of slightly apprehensive about coming on this and performing in this quiz against someone who has, I mean, it's about humble brag, someone who is not afraid to brag. Literally, all he does is brag. Is Mini Miner about his performances in these quizzes. How are you feeling about this? Do you feel nervous? Are you excited? Like, where's your head at right now?
It's very, very confusing for me because I feel like I perform very, very well under pressure, but when it comes to quizzes, that's where I can become hit or miss. Luckily, I did watch a couple of these quizzes go down. I was taking part in chat, so I do at least have some preparation. But at the same time, I'm a little nervous.
No nerves for me. I won the last one I played in. 100% success rate. Might I just remind you guys? Of course, I went against Vivid, the one and only. So, although I've only done one, I still like to talk about 100% success rate because, yeah, that's just the number. So, yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. They're always quite interesting and fun questions. So make sure to play along at home because, yeah, they're always a lot of fun.
Defo. I mean, that's one of the most fun things, actually. I think everyone actually is loving the quiz. So let's jump into this. You guys know exactly how this thing rolls. Ultimately, what I'll do is I'll ask Mini Miner and Jacob a couple of questions each, 3 questions each. I'll actually ask them, followed by a tiebreaker. If there's a draw, then we'll do a tiebreaker question, which ultimately is the closest person to the answer wins. Okay, it's really, really fun. Ready for this? Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Come on. Right, Jacob, we're going to kickstart with you. Obviously, being the newbie, you have to. I was just watching your cam. They just kind of touched your face in a very kind of like psyched up. I'm ready to. I'm breathing. Okay, great. I love that. Right, Jacob, this is your question. It's a multiple choice question. Here we go. Which of these are a new vault location this season? Which of these are a new vault location this season? Western Watch, Eastern Watch, or Northern Watch? Which of those 3? Western Watch, Eastern Watch, or Northern Watch? What's your answer?
Well, since I call those places a little bit differently, I'm gonna have to go with a little bit of a guess. I'm gonna go with the Northern Watch. That would be a final answer.
Okay. Before I confirm whether or not that is the correct answer, Sir Mini Miner, what would be your guess?
The thing is, I'm not good at these sort of landmark names. I know.
Oh,
yeah,
here we go.
I know
Here
the
we go,
relation to
Jacob.
other
Now the
POIs.
excuses come out.
I'm just gonna say I would have gone for Western Watch because Fortnite like to do that alliteration thing with POI names. So Western Watch, WW.
Ooh.
That's what I would have gone for as a guess as well. I wouldn't have known the answer. I don't know the answer, so that's my thinking behind that.
Critical thinking.
They do love a little bit of the old alliteration, don't they?
Yeah.
They do love it. We're going to need some onomatopoeia in there at some stage, like crash catacombs or, I don't know, bang boulevard, whatever. Okay, here we go. The actual answer is, which of these is a new vault location this season? It's Eastern Watch. You're both incorrect, chaps. Eastern Watch, man.
Wow.
That's
What
a
is
secluded spire.
happening?
That's Yamsco Rise's drop spot, I bet.
Dude, you know what?
So nice.
These things happen. Hey, shake it off. We're on to the next one. Mini Miner, this is your question 1. Here we go. The same question again here. Which of these is a new vault location this season? Mayday Mansion, Majestic Manor, or Meadow Mansion? Mayday Mansion, Majestic Manor, or Meadow Mansion? What say you?
I know it.
You do.
I know it. I know it. It's actually the mansion just to the southwest of Frenzy Fields. And it was Mansion something. I knew that. And I'm pretty sure, I'm going to say 95% that it's Meadow Mansion.
Okay. Meadow Mansion, final answer?
Final answer.
Okay,
yes.
Jacob, would you jump on the Meadow Mansion bandwagon?
Yeah, he's 100% right. Thanks to Taco of all people. She knows every single one of those little landmark drops, and learning from her as every single mid game piece that she does, and even when her prep. So I already know he's right.
Taco loves a POI. What can we say? She loves a POI. The correct answer is indeed Meadow Mansion. 1-0 to the Mini Miner. Oh, I tell you what. He's on for another victory here. He's got a head start, but hey, everything could change here. Everything could change in question 2 here. Right, you're now going to answer a quiz on each other's region. Okay, so a little bit kind of like further afield to what you're used to week on week. But okay, this is for you, Jacob. Question 2: which duo leads the EU FNCS Series leaderboard after 2 weeks? That's which duo leads the EU FNCS Series leaderboard after 2 weeks? Is it Malabuka and Thomas, Seti and Cami, or Blacker and Mixon? That's Malabuka and Thomas, Seti and Cami, or Blacker and Mixon.
It's not Malabuka and Thomas. And I think Baja and Mixon didn't play as well in week 2 as they did in week 1. So I'll go Seti and Cammy. Final answer.
Now, Mini Miner, we know that you are a bit of a leaderboard guru. You love a leaderboard. What would you say if you're in the same situation?
I would also go with Seti and Cammy. To be fair, I was thinking about Tom Stacey and Malibu too because they had a really, really good week 2. But yeah, Seti and Cammy, I think, have just been a little bit more consistent.
Okay. The correct answer, coming 6th and 4th, is Cammy and Seti. Let's go, Jacob. Okay, that's 1-1, but obviously, Mini, you have yourself a second question here. Question 2 for Mini is, as Yomzo and Rise have won both weeks, they're clearly leading on NA. Which duo is second? Okay, Yomzo and Rise currently are leading after both weeks, but which duo is second? Is it Aegis and Canada, Acorn and Cold, or Polo and Sphinx? That's Aegis and Canada, Acorn and Cold, or Polo and Sphinx. Who is currently second? Let us know your answer.
I was really hoping you'd ask the same question you asked Jacob for NA, because it was easy. The Yomzo and Rise, easy, but...
We don't do things easy here, baby.
You really don't, do you? It's tough.
Like I know this one.
I think I do know it. I don't think it's Acorn and Cold. I don't think it's Canada and Aegis. I think it's Poyo and Sphinx because they've had 2 very, very good weeks, almost slightly under the radar, you could say. But they, week 2, they did very, very well. They won, I believe, 2 games, maybe 1 game, won this definitely. A fantastic team. Poyo and Sphinx is my final answer.
Okay, and shout out to Poyo for calling him Polo there. Poyo and Sphinx. Poyo and Sphinx. Jacob, what would you say? Given the same opportunity here.
Well, based off the little bit of confidence he has, it makes me a little nervous for my answer. But I'm pretty sure it was Canada and Agers, especially with how well they did in week 2. But you're making me second guess myself. But I'm going to lock in Canada and Agers.
Now you're making me second guess myself. I wasn't that confident. I just sounded.
Well, by the power of this wicked sweet Hawaiian shirt I'm wearing right now, coming 2nd and 8th, it's actually Acorn and Cold.
No way.
Ooh, massive. It's Acorn and Cold, chaps. Oh my gosh. It's oh dear for you, Mini Miner, but hello, Fortnite, and the drop spot for the viewers and the fans listening at home, because it means it's 1-1 right now going into the last question each. This is huge. I love this. And I can see Mini Miner's sweating a little bit here, Jacob. He's sweating a little bit. So what is that? Okay, Jacob, this is your third question here. Then it's a multiple choice question here. How many duos will qualify for the Global Championship during Major 3 in each of EU and NA? How many duos will qualify for the Global Championship during Major 3 in each of EU and NA? Is it 8, 10, or 12?
Well, since I know NA like the back of my hand and you didn't differentiate between EU and NA, it's 10 spots, and that is final answer.
Mini?
Yeah,
nodding
he's right.
there, agreeing?
Yeah, he's right. Yeah. Good job.
He's absolutely right. It is 10 spots. It's 2-1, Jacob. It's 2-1, Jacob. The
lead
could be slipping from Mini Miner's beautiful hair. Okay, let's have a look at this. It's question number 3 for you, Mini Miner. You need this to go into the final question. We all want to see a tiebreaker. I'm rooting for you here. Here we go. What is the total prize pool at the Global Championship this year? What is the total prize pool this year? Is it $2 million, $3 million, or $4 million?
4 million is my answer. Final answer. I've seen that trailer enough times to know that it pops up with 4 million and to see who's going to take it by force, because we just know it's 4 million. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the Invitational was not quite as much. So this is going to be like a crazy event. And I've just been so excited for it that it's just 4 million hasn't left my head because it's just an insane number. So yeah, I have 4 million.
Well, just to reiterate as well, if you do want to buy tickets for the Global Championships, it is Fortnite.com/competitive. Do it now. Okay, there you go. The correct answer is, in fact, $4 million, baby. We're going into the tiebreaker. I get so into this. I'm so into this. This is like, I'm having a great time. I'm having a really good time.
I don't even have a controller or keyboard, and I feel like my hands are sweating.
It gets exciting. You can also get tickets, of course, at fn.gg/tickets. That's fn.gg/tickets. That is where you could buy tickets for the Global Championships. Do not miss it. $4 million being given away. Okay. I say give it away. One. Tiebreaker. This is it. How many reboots were there across all regions in the FNCS Week 2 finals. How many reboots were there across all regions in the FNCS Week 2 finals? Remember, this is the closest person wins this championship competition, drop spot, first one back after a hiatus, which is massive. Also, Jacob, putting out there again, Mini needs to be knocked off his perch a little bit here. I want to see the journey climbing back up the tree, back to said nest. I want to see that. So we need this. We need this a little bit here from you. How many reboots were there across all regions in the FNCS Week 2 finals? Now, I'm going to say here, Jacob, because it's your first time here on the drop spot, I'm going to let you choose whether you want to go first or second here. You can choose.
I want to go second. Go ahead, Mini.
Okay.
I want to go second.
How kind?
Here we go. Okay, Mini.
This is always a funny one. Like these sort of questions are always funny because whatever number I just pluck out of thin air right now, it could. If I say 4 million, then it's like the answer's 6. Then it's just quite funny. So I just don't know where to sort of position myself in all regions as well. That is just not easy at all. This is not an easy question. I'm gonna say all regions, 6 games. How many reboots happen per game? I want to say maybe like 2, 3. So that's, that's 15, let's say, on average per
You're doing the maths.
per game or per event. I'm gonna say 100.
Okay, so Minimine is locking in 100. Okay, that's the baseline there, Jacob. 100 is the baseline. What would you like to decide here? Because this is all lying on you. What do you think? What do you think?
Is it closest in general or closest without going over?
Closest in general.
Okay, I'm going to go with 89. It just sounds good. It sounds good. Because my math was exactly kind of what Mini was doing. 6 regions, 6 game per. That's 36 games, about 2 each. I got about like 72 or so. And then I was like, there was a couple games I remember. There was a couple more than one reboot. And I was like, how many regions did that? So I'm going to just go 89.
Okay, so we got 100 from Mini. We've got 89 from Jacob. Okay. Now the answer has a 5 in it. It's got a 1 in it.
No way.
And it's also got a 2 at the front of it. 251, which means Mini retains the crown. Let's go.
Let's
Mate,
go.
I love it.
Congrats.
Love it. Can you believe that? 251. That is, I mean, you did the maths as well. Just goes to show an extraordinary amount of reboots, Mini Miner.
Extraordinary amount of reboots. I mean, I was shocked about that because, I mean, yeah, I tried to do some sort of rough maths. I'm not Albert Einstein over here, kind of come up with some crazy figures, but it is just one of those things. Like, you just never really think about reboots when you're watching, or when you're sort of thinking about the game. It's that's a lot, isn't it? That's a lot of reboots.
Yeah. It's a lot of reboots, but it just goes to show our players here, the duos, they are happy if they need to. They are rezzing, they're getting their player back in the action, their teammate, and they're going for it, which I love to see here. But thank you guys very much. You did brilliantly on the quiz. I hope you guys at home enjoyed that as well and played along. Did you get closer? Let us know. Let us know online. Right, before we wrap things up, I want to talk about Fortnite as an esport. We alluded to this at the beginning of the show here as well, and this is a really interesting point because we talked so much about what's happening currently in the meta, in each of the different chapters, the seasons we see in Fortnite. But overall, Fortnite as an esport, how the competition actually started, how it's continued, what it might look like looking ahead as well here. Just love to get the conversation going. The pros, the cons here. You guys can kind of jump in and let me know what your kind of thoughts are. But let's talk about first and foremost Fortnite as an esport, tournaments first and foremost. The kind of like the prize as well. I think we can all agree that it is amazing to see here. And I'll jump in with you, Jacob, first. Like what the opportunity here for players to win extraordinary amounts of money here, and the skill cap now being so unbelievably high.
Yeah, and to me, it starts with the open ecosystem that I kind of mentioned in the very, very beginning. Like, you can just queue up and try to get into these tournament-style lobbies. And like you said, Fortnite's just throwing opportunity after opportunity for a lot of these players to really not only make the money, but really make something of themselves. There's so many different examples out there, from Clicks to Booga to Epic Whale to even on the EU side of things with Venno, even just straight influencers that don't necessarily compete at that high level. And so to me, Fortnite as an esport is just one of those that is just always changing the game, changing the way people look at esport in general. And I think that as long as they continue to kind of go down the same track that which they're going down now, I think everybody's going to have more and more opportunities to come.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the opportunity is there for absolutely anyone to take part. Of course, you mentioned the rank requirement, but anyone can grind ranked and get to the rank if you practice and practice and practice. You'll get there and then unlock access to the tournaments. And even myself, I love playing in all of the tournaments. All the cash cups, all of those victory cups as well. Me and my teammate won $100 in a recent. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. We won $100 in a zero build victory cup as well. So that was great vibes. And all we needed to do was make sure we're in the right rank, make sure we can play in the tournament, play in the opens, qualify. I believe it's top 1,500 in that particular event, and then just play finals, win a game. There you go. There's some earnings for you to keep you going, keep you motivated. Because of course, when you do get earnings like that, when you do pop off, the feeling is like nothing else when it comes to Fortnite. It's absolutely insane. It's definitely worth grinding for.
It is. It is. I think, and we all agree with kind of your rank mode as well. Obviously, each season things do change, and players might not always be kind of massive fans of these changes. But it keeps things fresh and exciting, and it has welcomed new players into the game, and it has trying to change things up as well. So I guess every player now knows that with Fortnite, you do have to adapt, you do have to learn quickly, and that kind of becomes part of like the intrinsic necessity of being the best of the best at this game, Jacob.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I like the game as well, is because I've always been a fan of what people call the grind, getting better, seeing progression, just improving. Even though I may not be the best now, where I was a year ago was a whole different version of myself. And that's something that with Fortnite, the changes from POIs to weapons to meta to everything in between, because there's reality augments, there's NPCs, there's so much that gets added and taken away and changed and vaulted that you always have to be on your toes. And that's something that I personally enjoy. And I personally love watching, these competitors, even when they're streaming and they're streaming their progression from scrims to when they're playing ranked or when by themselves early morning, whatever it may be. That's just something that I admire. And for those players that do take the opportunity, not lightly, they take it serious and they grind, and you could really see it. You really do see it, because when those interviews come out post major, post event, whatever it may be, and you see one of those superstar teams that didn't necessarily place the best, and they go back and you hear them, it's like, yeah, I didn't grind the way I should have, but this season is going to be different. And then when that season rolls around, they're at the top of the leaderboard again. That's just me, and one of the reasons why I love Fortnite.
Yeah, absolutely right. And something that I love about the sort of open ecosystem and the whole vibe of Fortnite competitive is I'll go onto Mr. Savage's stream. He'll be playing an incredible way of Fortnite and doing different little things. And I try and take things from that. I try and think, oh, he's rotating that way coming out of his drop. He's taking that weapon. He's using that type of build in that situation. And then I think, you know what, I can try and implement that into my own game. And because Fortnite has that open ecosystem, I can play in the exact same cash cup that he's playing, albeit probably not qualify to finals like he does, but I can play in that same environment that he is in. And all of the other top tier pros that are also streaming, and just try and implement it into my own game, practicing in those creative maps, of course, practicing as much as I can in ranked, and then taking it into tournaments. It's really great to play, because then you'll also feel like you're a part of the community too, which of course everyone that plays comp is, and everyone's just sort of getting to know how each other play and improving and developing all together. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a cultural phenomenon, this game. I mean, it really is. I think the legacy aspect as well. We were kind of talking before we kind of jumped on the talk show here, thinking about the players that kind of got when we first kind of started watching Fortnite. The likes of Myth and Tfue. We talked about there as well, getting a chance to play with them there as well. Jacob, we've had a chance to play with loads of great players over the time, but Ninja as well, and like Nick A30 and these creators that kind of were there at the beginning, that become like legend in the game, and it's kind of evolved so much. And I think Booga winning the World Cup was such a massive coup as well. I remember that happened. It was just, I don't remember watching it. I was glued to the screen, because it was like you suddenly saw the scale of this game and how it had grown in competitive as well. And I think we can all agree that it was kind of a huge spectacle that kind of all made us just kind of fall in love with kind of like the competitive side and how things are really kind of moving forward as well, Jake.
Yeah, to me, when you have your great grandma asking who's Booga, what just happened, that's where there's global icons thanks to Fortnite, and it's continuously happening. We talk about 2019 Booga. You can go each and every year from Tayson to Thomas HD to Clicks to, there's so many opportunities to, even outside of just, esports portion itself, that Fortnite just grants all these players to kind of live your dreams. And it's all a matter of what you do with it. And, I mentioned the grind in terms of, the esports aspect side of things. It just goes full circle. As long as you have that hard work ethic, as long as you know what you want to do, set up realistic goals, the opportunity is there to really take advantage of your own future.
Yeah, and there are so many recent examples of players that have started to crop up, especially on the EU region as well. I'm sure NA is very, very similar. There's just so many players that you just wouldn't have known of a year ago, but that have been putting in the grind, that have been playing in all the tournaments, making a name for themselves on socials. One that just springs to mind is Twy, of course, qualifying for his first grand finals with Jalen last season as well. Another player that's just sort of came out of the crop a little bit and, just started to perform incredibly well. And this is what Fortnite is all about. Anyone can do it. You at home can do it. If you put in the grind, you put in the hard work, VOD review, learn from your games, it is possible, and become cemented in the legacy of Fortnite. If you were to go all the way to an FNCS Grand Finals and win it, would be incredible. So it's anyone can enter it, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, last question, would you want to see it? I mean, like other traditional esports, I guess, that don't update the game as much. Would you want to see that happen? Do you think it could be interesting to kind of see that? Or do you think it is what it is, and it's its own entity in some respects as well?
I personally would like to see it, just because if you're going to make a game, very, very similar to Fortnite or whatever it may be, and it's very, very based around live service, you have to do exactly what Fortnite's doing. You have to recreate, you have to stretch the limits, you have to want to do something new and kind of change the landscape of how it's viewed. And I think season after season, moment after moment, whether if it's an outfit, some sort of collaboration, I think Fortnite is doing more than enough to keep people interested in the game, in the scene. And I honestly don't think we're even kind of halfway through what a life cycle of Fortnite would be like. I think we're still at the precipice of what we're going to see Fortnite achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. And even from a competitive sort of standpoint as well, looking at what's new in a new season, looking at how the best players in the world adapt to a new item. And we use adaptability so much when it comes to Fortnite, because that is what the game is all about. When we did that sort of Unreal Gold Bronze game earlier, adaptability has got to be unreal, because you need that skill, you need that ability when it comes to playing Fortnite competitively, because things can change so quickly. Things can change at the roll of a dice, and you never know what's going to come out in the next season or the next iteration of the game update. And that's what I love about the game. That's what keeps me watching. That's what keeps me interested, and what keeps a lot of people interested as well, because it's always going to change. You never know what's going to happen. And for those players that are at the top, they've got to be adaptable, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with your sentiments more there, chaps. I think the fact that, every season we get so excited, we see the kind of new things going, okay, well, what's coming in now? Okay, that's exactly, we always have this kind of like, it feels fresh, it feels great. And hopefully you guys are enjoying everything as well when it comes to Fortnite comp and everything within the game, because we absolutely loving it here. Thank you so much for listening to and watching the show this week. And for you guys as well, I must say, Jacob and Minnie, where can we find you on said online? Where are you out there social wise, so people can make sure to stay in touch with you as well? Jacob, are you kicking things off here for us?
Well, on Twitter is the only one that's a little different, but it's Jacob_MVPR. Everything else is just Jacob MVPR.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter or X at MiniMinerYT, and I stream a lot as well on Twitch at MiniMiner Gaming. I'll try and stream all the sort of tournaments and stuff on there.
I watch regularly. MiniMiner, I watch regularly. Your biggest fan. But you two have been unreal. As of you guys listening as well, thank you so much for joining us here. Just to reiterate as well, obviously we have October is coming thick and fast. Global Championships are on the horizon. Major 3 is the last chance to qualify this summer. You can get your tickets at fn.gg/tickets. That's fn.gg/tickets to be there in the arena, the Royal Arena in Copenhagen, watching that all happen. Make sure to get involved. Be amazing to have you out there in Denmark. Thank you so much for being here for our first one back after a short while here in the drop spot. It's been lovely having you here, and we look forward to seeing you out there on the battle bus. Until next time, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye for now.